Hello, Alessandrina here, and today I wanted to talk about putting out fires and essentially how we can go from putting out fires to really fundamentally exploring, evaluating, assessing ways in which subconscious patterns influence us and our emotional process and our reactivity and our decision making process, and then comprehensively addressing those subconscious patterns so that we are no longer in a crisis management mode. So, putting out fires is very much being in a state of crisis management all the time. And when we're in our lives constantly, or let's say for the most part, putting out fires, it tends to really create a drain in our energy. It tends to pull away resources from our intentions and goals. And it doesn't bring this feeling of peace and stability and groundedness and safety that is essentially required for us to be able to intentionally create in the world and bring about change and transformation in our life, and to work on the things that are really meaningful to us. So, for the most part, when people are in crisis, they are emotionally charged and reactive. And when they are essentially wanting to put out that fire, it requires a lot of pulling together of a lot of energy. And this process, as beneficial as it is, because it's good to put out fires in our life, if we don't work on the root cause of the fires, meaning the subconscious patterns in our system that bring about those fires, then again we're stuck in the cycle of putting out fires and being drained and being emotionally reactive, not having the resources necessary to consciously and peacefully engage in relationships, and also create and continue to receive and manifest our most wanted intentions and goals. So if you map, essentially, if you make a map of the different fires in your life that you've been putting out, and if you become aware that the same types of fires are essentially burning, and that you're essentially in a process of pulling your resources to extinguish those fires, to put out those fires, then you might become aware of that fundamentally there is a subconscious influence, a subconscious pattern that is bringing that into reality. And as you see those cycling over and over again, then you can ask yourself what is generating those fires. And you can begin to work on deconstructing those patterns, and by deconstructing them, releasing their influence on your psyche, on your life, on the way you experience yourself and others, and also on your process of interpretation of reality, and also the decisions that you make. Because when we have subconscious patterns that we don't address and we don't resolve, they continue to have an influence on the results that we get in our lives, including the fires that are burning in our lives. And interestingly, on the planet right now, we have very high temperatures. We have a lot of fires also that are burning in different areas of the world over the past few years as the temperatures continue to rise. And we're spending a lot of resources and energy putting out those fires without really addressing the root cause for the fires and the temperatures that are rising. So I'm, of course, pointing to climate change and ways in which our ways of living, ways in which our subconscious patterns are participating, generating climate change. And so if we can all agree to come together and realize that this is happening, and if we want to fundamentally shift from crisis management and putting out fires to really understanding the fundamental root causes for the fires, whether they're fires or whether they're other even social fires, meaning different things that are happening in the collective consciousness that are bringing about this energy of conflict and discontent and anger and not peace. If we can all come together and work on those root causes in ourselves, and of course if they are in ourselves, then they are in the world, and we can understand fundamentally how our inner world is going to affect our outer world, then we can begin to work on resolving those patterns, those habits, those ways of living and thinking and being that are generating the fires. And then we'll have less fires, and we'll have more resources to build consciously, lovingly, and to achieve our intentions and goals individually and also globally as a species, and also supporting other species on the planet. So living together in harmony, in balance, and with respect for one another. And this is very difficult to do when we are constantly putting out fires and we're in crisis management. So getting from the crisis management and the putting out of fires to really a global shift and understanding of how to function differently and how to work together as one towards harmony and balance and peace. I hope this is helpful, that it helps you in your personal life, and that you see the validity and the application of those same principles in the world as it, for instance, pertains to climate change, and how we can all bring about a shift in that area. And so I hope this helps you. Sending you much love.